Good morning, Sherry. How are you? How was your weekend? Oh, okay. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Well, I didn't get much more done. I did color one base, and I colored some more of the cherry blossoms. Oh, I got you. I've had to do that several times. I got my color by number book, and I found out real quick I'm going to have to buy a magnifying glass so I can read the numbers. Oh, I'm doing okay. My schedule's a little off though because I'm here an hour early. So I've kind of been rushing because I keep thinking that my brain is not like trained to be someplace at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been uh, I've been thinking about what I want to do. Good morning, Dee Dee. Hey, Zach. Hi. Good morning. I've been thinking about what I want to do with this third flower, and I think I got it figured out what I'm going to do. And I will show you here right quick. I think I am going to make this third flower a type of dwarf sunflower. Because I looked at lots of pictures, lots and lots and lots of pictures of flowers and plants, and I could find absolutely nothing that looked like this. And I had bought, a while back, I had bought Casey a pack of seeds for dwarf sunflowers. And what actually is growing is not, it doesn't look to be sunflowers. So I looked up dwarf sunflowers yesterday, and I came across this. So it's not exactly the same, but we can pretend like it is. So this morning I'm going to try to figure out some colors. I'm probably not going to do a lot of coloring. I don't even have my brace on this morning because I don't plan on doing a lot of coloring. We might do a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I do have to keep an eye on the time, but I wanted to show you this book too. I got Around the World, and I did not know that these color by number books were like this. I'm going to look at the page that we're going to do. Hey, Monty. And I did not realize that the numbers were going to be so hard to see. And they are very difficult to see. So I'm going to have to get myself a magnifying glass so I can see the numbers. It took me a little while to figure this book out because the entire book uses the exact same color chart for the entire thing. I didn't realize that. So we have one color chart for the entire book. But it'll still be fun when we get to it. I'm just going to have to order me a magnifying glass so I can read the numbers. Yeah, I understand that. I didn't realize that before I ordered the book. Once I got it, I realized that they're so faint so they don't show through the color. And that's okay. I just can't see them. But remember, guys, now there's going to be a twist. When we do this, there's going to be a twist. Just remember that. It'll be fun. And then remember how I was talking about I need to get something that I can set on the paper like a paperweight to hold it down flat so it doesn't move when the pencil touches the paper. It doesn't move. I was thinking about buying like a paperweight magnifying glass, but anything I set on the paper, I really want to have a piece of felt on the bottom of it or something like that. So that would really defeat the purpose of that magnifying glass. And then I realized, well, I have paperweight. So I decided I can just use one of these pads that I got to use with the pastels. That I got to use with my pastels. I can just use one of those and I can use my 8-ball. I also have, if I need a second one, I have a Scorpion cue ball. I've had these for a long time. But they won't just sit here, they'll roll. But I just got to thinking over the weekend, if I set it on one of those pads, that will prevent it from rolling. So, but I'm going to use the 8-ball. But if I need a second one, I do have a cue ball also. And I keep wanting to order a red snooker ball. I think it's a snooker ball. I'm not real sure though. I've never played snooker, but it's a red pool ball. It's not the red number 3. Although I do want to get a red number 3 because I like watching this marble racing. My granddaughter, my little granddaughter, we came across a marble racing video. So we watched that and she just loved it. So we started watching those, and my favorite marble that I would always pick to win was red number 3, and it looked like a red number 3 pool ball. So I want to get me one of those also, which will be fun. So I want to pick out some colors to use for the sunflower. Now these 2 vases down here, I'm thinking I'm going to do these vases with the same colors that I did this one. And it's probably hard to see on camera, but I have like a little sunburst that comes out from these 3 different sides. So I want to I'm going to use the same colors And both of and these other two vases as well. Just because they have different patterns, and that's going to let me practice blending in different uh, patterns. Now we won't be doing color by number like real soon, because after this picture we have oh, Zach. Zach, are you still here? Thank you, Sherry. It probably is a little bit dark for the cherry blossoms. They don't stand out all that good, but that's okay. I needed to get some blue down in here. Is Zach still here? How's everybody else doing this morning? Everybody have a good weekend? I know Sherry said she's been busy. Well, I don't know if Zach is still here or not. I know, I saw your video. Now that tote thing, that bucket that you carry your coloring supplies in, is it watertight? Oh, paying for it as in like sore muscles or sunburn. It looked like it was a nice day. Okay, I was wondering about that. I'm just going to set my notebook over here for a minute. Sore muscles, okay. Okay, I was wondering about that. I was sure hoping it did. I want to look at some oranges. I don't have a lot of options when it comes to orange and yellow. So I'm going to have to use some here that I've already been using. And I want to be careful not to get them mixed up. Now, I will say that in the video, the water looked a little bit like it looked a little bit dirty. Is that just because the water is low, or is that from like runoff from storm, or is the water actually clear but it's so low that you just see the bottom so easily? Oh, let me show you something else too. Now look at my pencils. Can you see the difference in the length of my pencils? My pencil sharpener 8-1. So it ended up being quite a bit shorter. Okay, so it just looks that way on the video because we're actually seeing the bottom. Oh, okay, so it is a little bit muddy because it did look a little bit muddy. Yeah, I kept waiting for it to, you know how like it free spins? The handle will free spin once it gets a nice sharp tip on it. I kept waiting for it to do that. Nope, it just ate my pencil. I've had it do that a couple of times before with some other pencils, and they ended up real short. That's how I ended up with real short pencils. They got ate. I'm just going to slide those up there out of the way for a little bit. Now I have to be careful because I'm using certain oranges for my vases, and I don't want to get them mixed up. So I just want to look at some color. See, those two are very close to being the same. So maybe I can just use the one. And let me see what else we have here. Oh, okay. see, I want to see what this looks like. See, I think maybe there should be an intermediate color. Like this one. And then maybe this one. So I think maybe something like this is going to work. I just got to keep everything separated because I'm using some of the colors in other places. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do for our sunflower. I think. Well, now that's a possibility. They could have been letting some, yeah, water out of the reservoir. Well, I thought that Zach might get the last pencil in the pencil garden. Well, do they let anybody know before they're going to like open the gate and drain water out of the reservoir? Do they like sound an alarm or anything like that so people who might be downriver will know? Oh, okay. It just made me think of flash flooding. I went on a canoe trip with one of my friends years ago in one of the local rivers here, and it was about a 40-mile trip that we took. He had bought a canoe. We patched a hole in it. It was fiberglass. We patched a hole in it, and then we took it out. And his dad took us about 40 miles upriver. And as soon as we launched the canoe, I was in the front, my friend was in the back. Of course, if you're in the back of a canoe, you have the rudder. Well, the first thing my friend does is grab his fishing pole. Right in the middle of the river is this huge boulder. And I keep thinking he's got the rudder, he's in the back. We crashed right in to that big boulder. And I look back there and he's got a fishing pole in his hand. He didn't have no oar in his hand. He had a fishing pole in his hand. So I just put my fishing pole down and grabbed an oar, and I had to rudder the canoe from the front the whole trip. And then we took it up to a lake that's not too far from where I'm at. Well, it was a lot closer to where I was living before than it is now. But anyway, still a small local lake. And so he asked me, "Do you want the front or the back?" So I remembered our river experience where I was in the front and I had to steer. So I said, "Well, I'll take the back." So I get in the back and we take off out on the lake. And now this lake was like, it was just a valley that they dammed off and let it fill in with water. So really it's like a reservoir, but we're paddling, we're going, he grabs his fishing pole and we're going in and around all these trees and he keeps getting his line snagged up on the trees and stuff and he'd be like, "Stop, stop, stop." And it's like, we can't just stop on a dime. We don't have brakes. So once again, I ended up just having to put my fishing pole down and I ended up steering all day. I didn't go on any more canoe trips with him. Now it would be really nice if we could finish off the pencil garden assignments today. No, I didn't go out with him in the canoe anymore. Now I still don't have any idea what I'm going to do with the walls in this picture. I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly what's happening. They look really weird. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to make like I'm going to have to make like this wall. It's got to be like dry bamboo and rice paper. Well, yeah, you don't need anybody tipping the kayaks over. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make this like like a screen type thing with a rice paper. I mean, that's the only thing I could really think to do with it because it's just not normal. You would never see a design like this in somebody's house. So I kind of don't know why illustrators illustrate in this manner. It's confusing to me because it doesn't make sense, but I figure it must be like Oriental. Even trying to figure out the framework around the window, I haven't really figured out what I want to do with that either. Yeah, I the first thing I thought of when I looked at this page is that it's Japanese because the window goes all the way down to the floor. So I assume this is like Mount Fuji in the background. I don't think the floor would look like this because it would have like those mats on it. I don't remember what they're called. It would not look like this. They don't have these type of floors, but probably hard to actually draw the type of floor they would have. So Well, I guess it could be a tabletop if that table is shoved over into a corner. So this would be kind of like if we assume this is a table that's elevated off the floor, then we could assume like this might be like a Westerner, like an American living in Japan. Well, I don't know. The title of my video, my live stream, say the window, so I I don't know, but I'm assuming it's a window because Japanese people sit on the floor. In a traditional Japanese home, they sit on the floor. That kind of stuff is what makes it difficult for me to color pictures like this, for example, because I don't know what things are supposed to be. I don't know what the artist had in their head when they drew the picture. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. And it makes it hard for me to come up with something. Because, like I said, when I first looked at this with the cherry blossoms, I just immediately thought of Japan. But that means this is the floor. And all of these, I mean, these could be supposed to be like pieces of bamboo that are laying side by side like this. So that's what all these lines could represent, is that this is made out of bamboo. Because what they often do is they split that bamboo down the middle and then they put the flat edge down. So you just have the bumps, but it's flat on the one side. And that's kind of what I'm seeing for this here. But I don't know for sure that's what it is. But that's kind of the only way I can justify having all these lines in here. What is that all about? If it's not the same kind of wood as this down here. Yeah, that's how I am. I question it and I don't have any answers. Okay, well, I'm looking at the lines as some type of texture, but I'm thinking about what is the material used to justify that texture, because that will determine on how it gets colored. I will say this would take a long time to color if each of these were colored as an individual piece, which personally I think that's what it should be, but I don't see myself taking all that time to try to color it like it really would be. Well, I'm not going to do that either, but I'll have to figure out how to try to give it some kind of appearance like that in the finished product, and I don't know how to do that. With this being a flat surface, I don't know how to give it dimension. This one here, yeah, that's something I'm going to have to learn how to do, is to work with like a light source. That's usually an afterthought because I don't really know how to do that. I mean, I've made some attempts at it. I'm going to see if I can't do. Let's see, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. I don't have a lot of time left, but let's see if I can't do maybe one of these the way I'm wanting to do it and see how it'll work out. I'm wanting to make like a little sunburst. I don't know how well it's going to work. Now let me zoom in on that just a little bit. That's hard to see. Now it's darker on my laptop than what it is on the camera screen. So hopefully that has a little bit of like a sunburst kind of look to it. Thank you, Sherry. Probably not, Monty. Actually, no, she will not. Because I did ask the doctor, the surgeon, Dr. Campbell, if she could come in and video record the procedure, and he said no, because it's an operating room, it's a sterile environment, so she will not be allowed to go in. He did tell me that. I asked him. Thank you, Dee Dee. Hey, Reaper, how was your weekend? Oh, okay, Dee Dee. Now, I want to take, oh, you had a long weekend? Oh, you went camping. Okay. Now, I want to look at the next vase. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit because that looks kind of blurry to me. So I think maybe we'll zoom out just a little bit. Now, I want to experiment right here. Let's maybe start with this one right here. Because I'm not real sure how I want to do this part. Let's see, I think maybe I'm going to go all the way up into the corner. I think that's going to work. I will zoom out here in just a minute. I'm working on one of the vases. I'm just kind of getting an idea of what I want to do, how I want to go about doing it. I think I saw a picture of a purple sunflower. Now that's kind of how I'm thinking about doing this one. So I have that sunburst. Well, thank you. And then I'll just assume that each of these vases were made by the same artist because they have the same colors in them. So let me zoom back out. Maybe about like that. Got Casey messaging me right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, I can actually show you guys this spot on my arm that they're going to remove today because I don't have a bandage on it. You can see this spot right here. I actually have spots on both arms, but that's the one they're going to remove today. And it's fairly deep too. There's another one right there. Oh, I'm glad it's not bigger. It's gotten a lot bigger than what it was when it first started. Oh yeah, I'm going to be very happy to have that gone because it gets a real big scab on it. And then right where it's positioned, I'm all the time bumping up against it and knocking this, ripping the scab off, and that's not fun. So I won't have to keep it covered up anymore. Well, the surgeon looked at it and he told me that he will try to avoid the butterfly if he can. But when they stitch it together, it's going to make it look warped a little bit because it's going to pull it some. I told him I'm not worried about the butterfly. I want this thing gone. Well, Casey just messaged me and told me that she's got to stop by the car dealership where she got her car, and they're supposed to have her title. Yeah, I don't think I'll end up with much of a scar because it's just going to be well, he's going to cut around both sides of it and everything. He was telling me, and then just stitch it back together. So the skin will be a little bit stretched, but that's going to be okay. I have a scar on the back of my arm, on the back of my right arm, that I had covered up with a tattoo of. I don't really have any way to show you guys what I have there. I don't know. Maybe you guys can see it. I'm gonna put it under here. See if you guys can see this. I'm trying to watch on my laptop so I can see where I have it positioned. But I have a scar. There's a scar underneath that where I had surgery on the back of my arm. And people are all the time asking me if it's painful. Yeah, People ask me all the time, is that painful? And then they realize it's a tattoo. Because they just see the bottom of it sticking out underneath my shirt sleeve. Although the tattooist that put that on there did not do a very good job. I mean, it's okay, but it didn't look like what the picture looked like that he showed me. I showed him a picture to start with. The next page kind of depends on your situation, Monty. If you have your Mountain King, then we will do Mountain King. I don't know what page. I haven't spent that much time looking at it yet. But we'll do a page in Mountain King if you have your book. Okay, you got it. So the next page then, after we get done with this one, the next page will be in Mountain King. But like I said, I don't know what page it will be. And I'm still a ways from being done, guys, as you can tell. Dee Dee, were you getting that book? I can't remember who all was going to get that book. TK has that book. So it might just be the four of us. Oh, you picked a page, Monty? Okay, Dee Dee. I couldn't remember if you had said that you would get that book too or not. I couldn't remember. I know TK, Monty, Sherry, and myself. Okay, so just so we're all on the same page here, I'm picking the page, right? Well, we did a TK page. We did one of your pages, Monty, Tiny Hunter. This is Sherry's. So I think Mountain King is mine. Okay, so I'll pick the page in Mountain King. And we'll look at that when I get closer to being done. I don't want to get another picture in my head and start thinking about what I'm going to do on it while I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do on this one. I can't believe I have a what I'm going to color next list. Let's see, I got Casey messaging me. Oh, Dee Dee, I think you're right. I know there's are several of you that will have multiple pages going on at the same time. There's no way I can do that. That's why I say, like the pencil garden, who knows when the pencil garden will be finished because it has a specific purpose. Well, that's how I am, Reaper. One page at a time for me. Oh, okay, Monty. Now I understand what you were saying. Well, I was thinking that lady Judy from your live stream, Dee Dee, might pop in today. That would be pretty cool if she got the last pencil in the pencil garden. Oh yeah, I bet it could be difficult. You got to get the spacing right on everything. You have to figure all that out first. Depends how many letters you have, how big they can be. And then everything has to be proportionate. Well, technically it should have been Zach, but Zach didn't stick around long enough. Well, that's all you can do is kind of experiment. That's pretty much what I do with every pencil I'm picking up. Every combination of colors is an experiment. Well, Reaper, I would not even attempt to do what you're doing. I wouldn't attempt anything that I had to draw first. Dee Dee, I have considered very seriously adopting that same train of thought. I do have a couple of pages that I did not finish. Only one that I chose not to finish, and that was the Kirby Roseanne's. Actually, I think it was my first Kirby Roseanne's. All right, guys, I'm going to have to end this right here. I've got some last minute things I got to take care of here before I have to leave. And I'll be leaving here in less than a half an hour at this point. Well, now that's how I was, Sherry, with that Kirby Roseanne's. There was so much repetition. It had two snakes in it, and I was like doing each scale on the snake's bodies to look the same, and it was just too much. And then it had that like a halo of all those small flowers. That's a possibility, Monty. I might take Casey out for lunch. I'll have to check my bank account though, because I had to get gas money out of the bank last night. Thank you, Reaper. Thank you, Sherry. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Thank you, Dee Dee. I love you guys, and I'll see you. Well, farming tonight. I'll see you for coloring on Wednesday. Until then, God bless.